What's going on, everybody? It's Chad Reed for Forge Mentality. Hopefully, you're all having a great day. Someone asked me about my background, and it's just the same background for October. I think it's colorful, and I like it. But I failed to realize that I made a few videos in advance, so you're going to see the background a little bit into November, too. Today's video is going to be on ghosting and rejection. Nobody likes to be ghosted. I am very certain of that. I don't like it. I'm sure you don't like it. And rejection, when you take your shot with somebody, is really hard. It's really difficult to deal with sometimes. And when I say sometimes, it's just on the delivery. It's on how you reject somebody that determines if it's easier to deal with or harder to deal with. I'm not a moron. I understand why people, mostly women, reject mostly men. I understand it. It's all based off of an attraction thing, right? They have to be physically attracted to you, or you to them. And so when a man approaches you who you're not feeling because he doesn't have the aesthetic that you're looking for, the rejection is often colder than it should be. Really, what it should be is no thanks. I'm flattered that you're interested, but I'm not interested. Thank you. That's really as simple as it needs to be. But I see all these TikTok videos and on Instagram stories and on Twitter of women who like rejecting men. That's a horrible mentality to have as a person. I don't see how you could grow as a person beyond that. I mean, without changing it anyway. It's like if a dude is very attractive to you, he's a 7, 8, 9, 10 to you, then most of the time you're not going to even reject him, of course. But if he's less than ideal in terms of visual quality for you, the rejection is oftentimes horrible. I see ladies making videos of dudes coming up to them and they just throw them in the dirt, just flat out place them there like it's an air of superiority. Like you dare talk to me, the great mighty vagina holder. I have no idea what else to say. It's really comes from a false sense of entitlement. Men are used to getting rejected a lot. Men who shoot their shot fail well more than they succeed. Well more. And that repeated failure over and over and over again is hard enough. But when you have to deal with 3/4 of them, a half of them, also insulting you for dare approaching them, it should make sense, perfectly sensible to you at this point, why men are they're no longer, hey, okay, whatever, man. If you want to reject me, it's cool, but you're not gonna fucking insult me. Men go through tons and tons of rejection based on how often they're willing to shoot their shot. The more rejection they get, usually, the more discouraged they're going to be. That's just like that with anybody in life. The more you do something and fail, usually the more dejected you're going to feel about that item that you failed at. And it's the people who keep going that succeed. I personally look at failure as a challenge because I know if I failed, I'm just one step closer to succeeding. And it just makes my determination, my drive, my ambition all that much higher. But a lot of people aren't like that. And, I go to the gym. I've seen dudes at the gym try to shoot their shot, while I'm lifting weights or on the treadmill or the bike or whatever. I see dudes walk across the gym, and these are pretty decent looking dudes, and they just get flat out embarrassed. It's not a rejection like oh, I have a man, or oh, I'm not interested. Oh, I don't come to the gym looking for people to to date or have sex with. It's usually something like like I said earlier, you dare talk to me, you dare breathe in my presence. Like who's teaching you all these nonsense things, man? I mean, I know the answer. But, according to YouTube, I do not know what I can and can't say, and it changes, and it's like a list that I have no idea about. And so, I leave most of these things up to you now, since, we're free speech / actually censored. So really, I feel like you should treat all rejections the same. You should be courteous. You should be respectful. You should appreciate the fact that somebody took the time out of their day to think positive thoughts about yourself. And they took the time to actually enact on those positive thoughts by trying to get something going. It takes a lot of determination to do that, because there's a lot of steps along the way that you're gonna, most men are gonna probably talk themselves out of going to speak to the woman that they ultimately would like to speak to. That's just self-doubt. Everybody has self-doubt, and so by you telling that dude off for having the audacity to even come approach you, just means you're going to mess things up for the future women that he may ask out. He may approach a woman and his game might be fire, his intellect might be good, but he's going to start stumbling on his words. He's going to remember all them past experiences of all those women who just shamed him and threw him in the mud just for trying to talk to them. And in a future video, I'm most likely going to make where men should probably go and try to talk to women, and places that men probably shouldn't be trying to talk to women, at least in regards to if they're looking for something more serious. But these videos where women are sitting in their cars complaining about men, how they dared to talk to them, or they'll shoot a TikTok and they'll put it in slow motion so it looks like some dude who was checking them out for maybe a second or maybe 2 seconds. They'll stretch it so slow it looks like the dude was just straight staring for 15 seconds, and then the chick will, you got a problem, it's like they want the confrontation. It's like it's artificial validation. It's toxic as hell, but for some reason it's a trend. It probably needs to go bye-bye. And don't get me wrong, men turn down women too. I've turned down plenty of women, but I've always been very nice and sincere about it. I always try to pick out a good quality that I notice about that person. Or I'll maybe even tell them, hey, I have a friend who might be perfect for you. Do you mind if I give them your number? Things like that. It's just trying to give people a leg up, really. But really, it's all about being respectful and your approach on rejecting somebody that's going to make them feel some type of way about that interaction. No matter what, rejection kind of sucks, right? And so they're going to leave that interaction not feeling as if they just been accepted. And it's like, yeah, come on over, come hang out overnight. Let's Netflix and chill minus the Netflix, things like that. The next point I wanted to talk about was ghosting. With the advent of cell phones and social media, ghosting has become easier than ever. Now you don't even think about people as people. It's just swipes left and right. But you need to realize that there's an actual person with feelings and considerations on the other side. Have I ever ghosted people? Yes, I've ghosted women for sure. But it's always been after I've told them no, I'm not interested. You're not what I'm looking for. You have too many red flags. I don't want to deal with that, in my future. I've already dealt with that in my past, and I'm trying to learn from my lessons. And women tend to not take this very well. Women aren't very good with rejection, period. And even though I've always been nice, I've always been made out as the villain, or I've been shamed. What? You ain't gonna have sex with me? What do you mean you're not gonna have sex with me? Is you gay? That's the biggest one. But I've never had somebody who showed interest, communicated general interest to me, and then just never responded to them, left them on red or whatever. Never done it. It's just rude. I feel like if somebody spends the time to send me a message, at the very least I can reply. That's just the common courtesy type thing to do. I feel like that's what a decent human being would do. Usually when men ghost, it's because you as a lady are punching way above your weight class, right? Or maybe it's a dude who saw some red flags in yourself, or maybe perhaps they found somebody else. It's possible. It happens. Mostly for women than men, but it happens. But I've been noticing that a good deal of women do it just for the satisfaction of doing it. I had a girl at work, probably about 12 years younger than me, maybe 14, and she had said that, when I first met her, actually, one of the first days I met her, she said that she enjoys ghosting men. She enjoys rejecting men. Okay? So, what am I supposed to do with that information? Not think of her as anything other than a coworker, right? Well, not exactly, because she asked me about a month later, and then maybe 2 months after that, why I didn't try to pursue something with her. She was interested. She thought I looked good and all these other things. She's seen the improvements I was making in my life and seen that I wasn't just some ordinary dude. But going off of what she told me before, which is the only thing that you have to go off of, is somebody's word. You listen carefully to what they say, and they reveal a lot about themselves to you. So remembering what she said, how she enjoys rejecting men, and some other craziness that she does that I'm not going to get into here, but she posed a lot of roadblocks, a lot of barriers and issues into somebody trying to even date her. So I told her, like, you told me that you enjoy rejecting men. She's like, yeah, but I didn't reject you. I'm trying to reach out to you because I want to be with you. And I said, well, I don't think I like women who reach out to me that reject men. It's not cool. Rejecting somebody is fine, but it's the way you do it. But if you're getting joy from rejecting men, how terrible must your life be that you need to do that to feel some kind of dopamine hit? And for some reason, telling this woman the truth on how it really is excited her. I don't know. She went into overdrive, just always texting me, Snapchat, all of that stuff. And I was just like trying to figure out how I could say it more clearly and succinctly to this woman to let her know that because of her character flaws, I was not interested. But this continued on for 5 or 6 months. Eventually, she ended up leaving the company, so it took care of itself. But I think it would have got more and more aggressive as time would have went on if I would have just kept rejecting her. Because women can't handle it. Women cannot handle it. Most women. I'm not saying all. Every single time I say women, I'm not saying all women, unless I specifically say all women, all men, all this or that. But see, as a woman, you have the luxury of just rejecting off turn hundreds of dudes. You don't even have to read their comments, because you have so many comments and so many people in your DMs trying to holler at you that it doesn't matter to you, right? They're just 1 out of 10, 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000, depending on, if you're OnlyFans, if you post the racy Instagram photos, thirst traps, all that kind of stuff. You're going to get tons of men that are interested. But the point is, if somebody's trying to make a genuine connection to you, you probably shouldn't just ghost them out of turn, right? You should probably talk to them for a moment and see what they're about. And then if you don't like their energy or their vibe or whatever the hell you guys call it nowadays, you can let them know, but let them know. That's not you ghosting them. You're just letting them know that you aren't interested. And that's perfectly acceptable as a decent human being. That's perfectly acceptable. If I'm interested in some lady and she tells me, "Hey, you already have kids." Okay, no problem. It's not an issue. Thanks for being honest. It's that simple. It's that simple. I've had women reject me because I served in the military. They don't agree with it. Okay. All right. I don't see your point, but yeah, okay. I've even had a woman reject me because I sneezed like her ex-boyfriend. That is the excuse that she gave me. Her and her friend, which I was only supposed to do a one-on-one date, I thought, but her and her friend came, and they were both trying to get it in with me. And, I was okay with that. And, but I sneezed, and they both looked at each other, headed to the restroom, came back after about 30 minutes, and then said that it wasn't going to work because I sneezed like her ex-boyfriend. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and call that looking for reasons to disqualify somebody, because that's insane. So really, I guess the bottom line of this is just be more considerate of other people's feelings. I understand that with social media, you just swipe left, swipe right. Don't give anybody, a second thought, really, because there's the next person and the next person and the next person and on and on and on for hours, as long as you want. But these people all have feelings, just like you do. As a woman, when a dude rejects you, you feel some kind of way about it. You feel terrible. You don't feel like, your best, for sure. Your confidence is just destroyed for days or weeks. And that's off of one rejection. Imagine if you did that 5 times a day, 10 times a day, 20 times a week. Imagine that. Rejection, 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 rejection. But they're not just rejections. They're basically all fuck yous, you're scum. Why the hell are you talking to me? Like, you don't even look like you have enough money to be talking to me. You see, bullshit like that, man. That's fucking garbage. So maybe just start out by being kinder to people. Just be kinder. And if they don't get the hint, be a bit more forceful with it. You don't have to go the full nuclear mode right away. If they still aren't getting the hint, or they're fighting your rejection or whatever, then you feel free to ghost them. That's when you're supposed to ghost people, not off the cuff. You're supposed to ghost people after you talk to them and you find out, oh wait, you're gonna be a baby. You ain't getting what you want, so you're gonna be a baby and completely turn into a different person. Okay, that's when you ghost people. Those are the people you're supposed to ghost, not everybody else. Because not everybody's out here to fight you. Not everybody is out here to be your enemy. The world in general is already a cold and crushing place, right? So why would you want to add to that? It just don't make any sense. But at the same time, as you want to keep it real, don't put up with any nonsense. Don't put up with any harassment. Because as I said before, there's going to be evil people, men and women. And you don't want to turn into that person, because once you turn into that person, it's hard to come back. I've turned into that person. I've made my way back from that journey, but looking back on it, I didn't like the dude I was becoming, because it just was too far away from who I was to begin with. All right, that's it. That's all I got for you today. My videos, some of them have been a little bit longer, but that's because some of the subject matter, I just didn't want to make 3 to 5, 7 videos on the same subject. I'm trying to clear a subject, move on. And then once I'm out of subjects, then I'm out of a channel. I'm trying to get out of here. I just want to impart this information upon you while I'm here. I've been real busy with work and, trying to do my gym grind while, increasing my hours. I homeschool my daughter 30 hours a week in addition. And so I don't always have time to make these videos, so I've been trying to batch them together. My thumbnails, I haven't had any for, the last few videos. It's because it takes a longer period of time than I have. I'll go back and fix those eventually. But, really, the people who are here, that's fine. That's fine with me. I just want to help, one person, 2 people, whatever. As always, you're free to take my advice or leave it, take parts of it, however you want to do it. I'm just trying to help other people. So that's it. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. I'm Chad Reed. This is Forge Mentality. Have yourselves a great day. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Even if you don't listen to my advice, I'm fine with that. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.